In today's video, we're checking out what are, in my opinion, the best resale and new construction deals currently for sale in Easton Park. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of each, tour both properties, and give you a sense of why I think both of these are what I consider the best deals right now. We're going to get after it right now. Hey, Daniel here, your local Easton Park real estate expert. If you're thinking of making a move to the Easton Park neighborhood, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on the latest real estate news. I typically upload once a week, and I do a variety of videos each month, from best deals like this one to just a variety of home tours, builder spotlights, market reports. I live in Easton Park. I've lived here for 5 years. I know this neighborhood extremely well. That's why I started this channel. But before I became a realtor, I was actually a teacher for 10 years. And I found that the morals and skills, I guess I had my morality before I became a teacher, but what drew me to becoming an educator were things that are helping me succeed as a real estate agent. Honesty, hard work, effective communication, and really caring about other people and wanting to help them succeed is still really important to me. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, you can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. I'd love to help you and your family find a great deal in Easton Park and in the greater Austin area. I serve from San Marcos all the way up to Georgetown and everything in between. I will say for the homes we're looking at today, if you are new to Easton Park, the HOA here is $71 a month, and the tax rate can be a little different depending on what part of Easton Park you're in and the size of the home, because we are part of a MUD, municipal utility district. But for these two homes, it's between 2.56 to 2.58%. Again, because we're paying into that municipal utility district, that's why it's a little higher. But cool, all right, let's go check out house number one, the resale deal of the month. All right, so the first house we're checking out is the resale deal of the month. I really like this house. This one, like my notes here, listed at $469,000. This is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,082 square foot home. It's 1 story. It's a Brookfield home, and it was built in 2020 on 0.138 acres. Now, the price per square foot for this comes out to $225. The average price per square foot for closed homes of roughly the same square footage is $204. So the average is lower than what this is listed for. So you might be asking, well, why is this a great deal? This has a ton of features, and this is why it's important to not just look at price per square foot when there are additional features added into the house. So I think the layout and then just what the owners have added to this property make it stand out from other homes I've seen in the neighborhood. I'll pan around so you can see where we're at. We're in Skyline Park. Pan around so you can see. I really like this street because we have a variety of different builders, and so just very different. It's definitely not cookie cutter, right? Variety of different looks. And then that side of the street is all Brookfield courtyard homes, so they have the shared driveway going into 4 homes. Let's check this one out. So, beautiful farmhouse look with this pale green baseboards going up. So we don't have any masonry, right? No stone or brick. That never bothered me, but for some people they really like that. I did notice this walking up, so we do have some cracks on the steps. That doesn't mean anything, don't be worried, well, what's going on with the foundation? That's the foundation of the house. This is what they pour afterwards. This is pretty typical. I would want them to do something though, do some repair here, so it's a little too much for my liking. If it was a hairline crack, it'd be one thing, but you can definitely feel a big difference there when you walk up. A decent amount of space up here in the front patio, right? I do like, we're starting to get more mature trees. I know it's still a very young tree, but 6 years old, we're now getting trees that are giving you a little bit more privacy. They did a good job with the landscaping up here too. Let's check it out. Now, first thing I noticed when I walked up was actually the front door. This is a clean front door, right? Kind of boring as far as the color, kind of matches the outside. It looks fine though, but I don't like it because there is no peephole, right? There's just a nail here, and there's no windows either side of this. So what I would recommend is, I don't think you need to get a whole new door. Now, if you want to, I'm just talking on the listing side, that's great. Typically front doors do help people fall in love with a house. But at the very least, I would get someone to come in and drill an eye hole here, just so people have that option, because it is very odd to not be able to see. You're fully relying on your ring camera, but you want to be able to look out somehow to your front. A little dark entryway. Now that's easy to change with the lighting fixture, not even the lighting fixture, but just the wattage of light bulb there. So that'd be something else that might, if you were selling a home, these are things you should think about, walking through. So a little dark in the front foyer, ton of space though, super wide. We have tile flooring. Definitely tile flooring is very dirty to grout, so that's something I would ask them to get professionally cleaned, which most of the house is tile, so that's gonna be a pretty hefty bill, but I do think it's important. To the right, 2 guest rooms. Guest room number 1 / I would probably use this as an office, but this counts as one of the bedrooms. We're looking out to the front. A couple stains on the carpet we want to get addressed. There's just a linen closet. And then our second bathroom. Good amount of space in the bathroom, just the one sink. And then interesting tile, right? Not going to the ceiling. We do have a built-in shelf there in the corner, which is nice. And then second bedroom, really good amount of space in this bedroom. They even added a couple shelves / benches in the closet. So really good amount of space in that closet. I wasn't expecting to see that. And then we're gonna go down here a little bit, then we'll come back. So here, coat closet, half bath, which I think I just said is a 3-bed, 2-bath, so they may have messed up on the listing. It should be 2.5 bath. And then here is our garage, 2-car garage, natural light coming in. Also no step, something to consider, flat. That's great, even if that's not important to you. That's helpful in the resale, right, when you're trying to sell it down the road, because if someone older is looking for a home, then they are definitely 1 story only, which this is, but then minimal steps, which this has. So that is a nice little feature to have. I don't see EV charger installed. If that is important to you, again, you can get that afterwards though. We have the Rainbird irrigation system, old school water heater, which I was surprised to see. So it's a little bit of a shame. Typically the tankless water heaters are a little bit more energy efficient. That doesn't mean it's gonna be a huge difference, just something to be aware of. And then we do have a water softener installed. We just need to check that this actually conveys with the property and it's not, a lease or anything like that. But that is a nice addition if it does come with the property. And then here is our utility room, which connects to the primary. We're gonna go back and end the tour there. So going back to the main area. Yeah, the lighting is just, it just feels very dark here. I could see how that may sway someone one way or the other. I think this could also do with a little bit of staging. So even just simple, like a small mirror, artwork, small table here, just something a little bit in the main walkway. You don't need to put couches or anything, but just to help that space. This is a coat closet. And then we open up to the main living area. Really beautiful kitchen. I love this super thick countertop. Looks like a quartz countertop. And then really large walk-in pantry. Another thing with pantries, right? If you're living in a house, you're gonna have stuff like this. An easy way to make this look nicer, because it just kind of looks dirty, is just putting liner on it. It makes it look brand new if you cut it, accurately. It's in decent condition though. I'm just saying what can help people when they're thinking of selling their home. I like this color. I like that we have handles. I wish it had soft close, but it's okay. Really cool backsplash here. And then we have the 5-burner range, double oven, microwave, large single basin sink, stainless steel, looking out to the living room. I like that. A decent amount of space, so I do like this kitchen quite a bit. Really long too. Island looks about maybe 10, 11 feet. To the right here, interesting, we have a little desk area. Definitely need to change this light. When I turn the light on and off, it doesn't do a ton of difference in this room. A little bit, but not too much. I like this built-in. I hate this. You can't hide it. It's kind of an eyesore to me, so I would uninstall that personally. But I do like this little area. Living room area. Decent amount of natural light coming in here. And then formal dining. Now this is where a lot of the upgrades came in. So we have this typical glass door that Brookfield would normally install. And then it looks like the owners added this guy. So we have a screen door, which is great because you can keep this open. If you have pets, they can easily get in and out. And then we have a pretty good sized patio to begin with. They did include a fan here, so that's great. They've added a swing bench, but then obviously this is the big upgrade they've added to this home, which now, this is kind of the reason why the price per square foot doesn't really, apply to this with being a great deal, because you have this huge feature you wouldn't get in a typical home. So this one, we have recessed lighting and a fan installed, right? Control it from over here. A couple outlets here, so it's nice that it's already got electricity going into it. It looks like we have some gardening beds over here in the corner, and then they put gravel over here with a playground. Now, this, may or may not work for your lifestyle. If you have kids, maybe this is absolutely perfect. You wouldn't change anything. Personally, I don't have kids. I'm never going to have kids. So for me, I would put in the contract, okay, well, let's get this gone. I don't want that there. And then when I moved in, I would look into adding a wall here and a wall here, right? It's just a little bit more privacy from my closest neighbors and their patios. And then maybe figuring out a way to maybe put a TV in this corner or a projector, just something to make it a little bit more of an entertainment area. But I really like that they added this slab. It looks great. And then in general, this yard space is a good amount of space. It looks like they added rocks along that side. And then over here, nothing, but not a lot of grass is growing down here. So. Very cool backyard. Oh, something I didn't mention, which not all builders do, most don't. We do have some dimmers already included, which is a nice little feature. So for the kitchen, we can control that, which I need to add that to my kitchen because it's so bright we don't even turn the lights on anymore. We turn like 2 lights on. All right, here's the primary bedroom. So they do have the walls painted. I think it looks good. That's all personal preference, obviously. 2 windows looking out to the backyard. Blinds look like they're in good condition. Windows look like they're in good condition. And then primary bathroom's beautiful. Really like this, kind of looks like marble almost, with the flooring here. Separated sinks, much more counter space than that one. This one would be mine, right? That would be my wife's. We have our large walk-in shower with a bench, ton of natural light coming in, floor to ceiling with a tile, built-in shelf in the corner. It's a great shower. Again, kind of what I've been saying with the flooring, we just need to get the grout cleaned and then probably recaulked in a couple spots. I do like that we have the separated widespread faucet, easier to clean, get in between. The commode, we have linen closet. There's just so much space. There's a ton of space in this bathroom. And then I really like it when they do the floor plan of connecting the primary closet, which is a really good amount of space, connected to the utility room. So it makes doing laundry really easy. And the utility room's also a really good amount of space. I'd probably put a small folding table here, but really easy. I mean, you may not even need a folding table. Literally just grab stuff out of the dryer, walk 3 steps, hang it up, and you're done. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this house. This one, let me look real quick for days on market. This one has been on market for do I need to edit this part out? This is taking me much longer. Here we go, it's on the back of the page, sorry, the camera went wonky. 64 days. So this has been on market for 2 months. They haven't adjusted the price, but that doesn't mean they're not willing to negotiate. If it's been on market 2 months, they're probably gonna be more likely to listen to an offer that may be slightly under. Something to keep in mind with resale too is, a lot of people go for new construction because you can get a better interest rate, right? You can still get a good interest rate on resale, right? It all comes down to what we negotiate the seller paying for closing costs. Because at the end of the day, closing costs are lender fees and title fees. And so if we get a lender that says, I can get you a 4.99% interest rate, which is what a builder would do, it would just cost you X amount, maybe $4,000, right? And that's depending on a lot of factors, down payment, credit score, all of that. But they could say that, and then we come in with an offer saying, hey, we want to come in at listing price, but we want X amount towards closing costs. And so that way you're getting a low interest rate. It's going to help you with your monthly payment. You're not paying for it. You just negotiated it into the contract. The seller's going to pay for it. There's ways to get around that. So just make sure you do speak with a realtor if you are considering buying property anywhere, whether it's Easton Park or anywhere in the greater Austin area, that understands this, because you don't have to go new construction to get a great interest rate. I just closed a deal last week in San Marcos where we got a 4.99% interest rate on a resale home, okay? And we had the seller pay for that. So there's definitely ways to get that negotiated in the contract. You just kind of have to speak with the realtor to kind of figure out how that would work for you. But cool. Yeah, this is a fantastic house. I really like this house. I'm surprised no one's put an offer in. I'm also not surprised because it's just the market we're in right now. But yeah, let's go check out the new build deal of the month. I'll see you over there. All right, so here's the new build deal of the month. This is a Pacesetter home. This has been on the market for 151 days, so they are definitely looking to get an offer in. This one's listed at $537,900. It is a 5-bed, 2.5 bath, 1-story home, 2,411 square feet, and we are on 0.185 acres, and we are in Discovery Park, okay? So you pan around so you can see kind of where we're at. We are on a pretty busy road, which isn't ideal, but that is the front. So let's go inside and check this one out. You can see masonry in the front here, right? So we have the stone and then dark blue hardy plank. Definitely more beautiful front door, natural light coming in. Kind of weird, massive pillar here, so you wouldn't really use this space, which honestly you wouldn't use this space much anyway because it's such a busy road there. So it doesn't make too much of a difference there. Now, something I will say, and this is just knowledge I have from doing so many of these videos and knowing this, Pacesetter doesn't really lower their prices on the MLS or online. I don't know why they choose to do that as a business model. I think it's detrimental. Typically, builders and homeowners would lower their prices with the market the longer it stays on market. Pacesetter doesn't do that. So average price per square foot for a home this size that's closed recently in the neighborhood is $226 per square foot. This one comes out to $223. So it's barely lower than the average, but I know it's been on the market for 5 months and they don't change their prices online, but they will accept an offer that's lower. So keep that in mind. It's listed at $537. You can get it closer to $500,000, I'm sure, in this market specifically. Okay, so let's start the tour. Definitely very different from the last house. So we have LVP flooring. I prefer this over tile. It's a lot easier to maintain, keep clean. There's no grout to get dirty. And then it looks as good, in my opinion, as real wood. To the left here, we have our first bedroom, 2 windows versus 1 in the previous home. So more natural light coming in. And then obviously a brand new carpet, right? You'd be the first one living in here. We have 8-foot doors throughout too, so taller ceiling. Guest bathroom, which 2 sinks, so I was really impressed to see that for the inventory home. I'm glad they went for that upgrade, as well as the floor to ceiling tile. This is a really nice guest bathroom. And then the second bedroom, just the 1 window for this one. Decent amount of space though. And then off the side here, 8-foot tall French glass doors leading into home office. Ton of natural light coming in here. This is a great home office with extra storage over there in the corner. Here we have coat closet. Okay, this opens up to the main area. So off here we have our pantry, just a long double door pantry. Very different from the walk-in that we just came from. I think I prefer the walk-in personally. And then our kitchen. So I like this kitchen, but I think I like the other kitchen a little bit better. There's pros and cons for each. So this one just feels a little bit more gourmet, a little bit nicer. We have the built-in range and hood versus the range and the microwave above. And then the built-in microwave and oven into the cabinetry. Really interesting granite-looking style countertop space here. Not a huge fan of the subway tile backsplash. It's a little boring, but that could also be because I just walk a lot of homes, and so I'm more interested in more interesting backsplash. And then no hardware attached. This is something easy you can add yourself, not a big deal, but something to be aware of. Not a huge amount of space, I will say, in this kitchen as far as storage. I think the last one had a little bit more, but it's decent. It looks like we do get a fridge already included with this one. And then if you're not familiar with Pacesetter, they do courtyard homes in Easton Park. So very long homes. So this is main living area, right? Dining area, windows on that side. The neighbors are a little closer than I would prefer. And then you have your courtyard patio. So it's gonna be in the middle of the house. And you can see, this is part of the reason why I'm not a huge fan of how close they are, because that neighbor has their courtyard facing this way. Now, they've put some panels there to make it a little bit more private. I'd probably do the same. I'd look at getting shades or something just to give a little bit more privacy. But this is a good amount of space on the patio and a really good amount of space for this yard too. Walking down here, attic. Here is another bedroom. I think this is bedroom 3 at this point. We've done 2 in an office, so here's the 3rd bedroom. No carpet in this one. I guess they would consider this an office actually, because there's no, interesting. Okay, now I'm thinking through the numbers. So online it says it's a 5 bedroom. That's not real. It's a 3 bedroom, 2 office, if you want to count closets as making it a bedroom, which is what we do in Texas. So 5 rooms, right? 3 of them your typical bedrooms, 1 an obvious office, right? It has French glass doors. And then this one I would probably use as another bedroom, but it's up to you. You can make it a theater room, flex space, hangout room, board game room, whatever. No carpet in there. And then down here, very small utility room, definitely compared to the previous one. I really like that last utility room, really close to the primary closet. Half bath down here, again, kind of odd, it's away from everything. 2-car garage, really big 2-car garage. So this is a nice amount of space. I mean, you're seeing from wall to door about 1.5 feet either side, so very, very large. You could actually fit 2 cars in here. This one, they did put an EV charger in here. I'm seeing that more often with the builders. Irrigation system, and then you do get a tankless water heater system, so it should save you a little bit in your energy bill, and then the water softener loop if you choose to add a water softener. I do like the size of that garage. And then the last one I missed over here is the primary bedroom. Really good amount of space in the primary bedroom. I like that it sticks out a little, so you got plenty of room over here. A couple windows there, an extra light. Windows here look into the courtyard. That's really nice. And then bathroom, kind of boring. We went back to the LVP throughout the rest of the house. I wish they did a little different style in here. I don't know what's going on here. They're doing some irrigation stuff outside, so maybe that's why. But you do get a soaking tub if that's important to you. You do get a very large walk-in shower. Acrylic pan, which is again kind of boring. The flooring in here is a little lame. I wish they did something a little different there, but I like that it went floor to ceiling with the tile, right? We have a ton of natural light coming in here. It always makes me laugh when I see blinds in a bathroom. I would just take those out and put a frosted sheet over that. And then here's your closet, decent amount of space in the closet. The other closet definitely was a little bit bigger. So yeah, there you have it. You know, if you're looking for new construction or resale, there's quite a few in Easton Park right now, if you're looking at both. I think between these two, it's tricky for me to pick a favorite. I think I'll go with the resale for this video. I do like this home from Pacesetter, and I do know, just knowing how they operate, you can definitely get it lower than 537 or whatever I said, 1,000. You know, just making sure that you use a realtor who understands how to negotiate these things. But yeah, I think there's pros to both. I think personally, I like the other home a little bit better than this one though. I'm always drawn to new builds, so I like how clean it is. Like everything is, you're the first person living in it, right? You pay a little bit of a premium for that typically, but also in the current market, you may be able to get a better interest rate. So, you know, there's pros and cons to both. But anyway, hope this video is helpful for you all. If you are considering buying or selling property in Easton Park or the greater Austin area, you can always give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. Love to help you and your family find a great home and negotiate a great deal in the greater Austin area. Until next time, hope to see you guys around the neighborhood.